Hello, everybody. This is Allen Devlin here with Atlanta News First. Thank you so much for joining me at the First Alert Desk this fine Friday. The time is now 8 o'clock with about 10 seconds into this hour, and I am honestly looking forward to the weekend. It's Easter weekend. We've got some in and out weather for the most part, but you'll be able to enjoy most of your Sunday. Saturday, and not looking too good, but Cutter Martin's going to talk about that here in a little bit. I want to walk through some of our stories that we've got going on from today, some of our top stories that we've been either covering already or we are going to be covering beginning at 9 o'clock on Peachtree TV, 9, 10, and then 11. We're back on WANF, CBS. Anybody who's watching, feel free to drop a comment, leave a message. Facebook, YouTube, we're up streaming right now. We're also streaming on our, Roku, Amazon, Fire Stick, all of those streaming platforms. So wherever you are watching us from, thank you for joining me. So the first thing I want to talk about is what I'm sure you guys already know. If you're from Atlanta, if you're from Georgia, if you're a golf fan, all eyes have been on the Masters the last several days. But today, a normally well-oiled machine, a calm, serene sporting event turned into a mess when wind gusts came through after rain had been soaking the greens now for hours and hours. Trees fell down, snapped in the middle of play right near hole 17. We've got video I want to show you real quick, and we can watch this one together here. Take a look at this.
Oh, good gracious. Watch out.
Oh, my
God, I
word.
hope everybody is okay.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and then I'm going to let the announcers talk for a little bit here.
Reporting here from the wind which came whipping through, and you can see the aftermath of it. Several enormous pines have fallen there to the left of 17T. And to see the aftermath of them falling is horrifying to ponder. And miraculously and gratefully, we can report that there are no injuries.
So you heard him say there are no injuries, which is insane to think about because this could have been very, very bad. That place is heavily populated, and when you first saw the video there, I'll replay it for you right now. You can see just how many people had to kind of duck out of the way just to get out of the way of that tree. So look over here to your left. You see them running away from that tree, and then everyone sprints towards it to help people out. Thankfully, no injuries. Now, play has been suspended because of the weather, because of the ground soakage, and honestly, this right here with these trees, they will begin playing again tomorrow. Hopefully, they don't have any issues because it's going to rain tomorrow as well. We're going to have rain all across the metro, so we will stay on top of that one. Feel free to watch it beginning at 3 o'clock tomorrow on ANF and 2 o'clock Sunday on ANF for continued coverage of the Masters. Again, really luckily, no one got injured in this one. So the next story I want to talk to you guys about is an interesting one here. Basically, Gwinnett County decided, or at least up front, they attempted to regain control of what used to be a plantation through eminent domain. They wanted to reclaim a former plantation and turn it into a museum, but they actually got some pushback from the community and the people that live there. The interesting part is the family that lives there is an African-American family in this Gwinnett County home on this plantation. They've owned the property for decades and decades, and their ancestors actually used to be slaves on that plantation. So there's a lot of history in it for them. Atlanta News First Amanda Rose covered this story this week, talking about the pushback from the community, from the Livesey family. And then we learned today that following that reporting, the Gwinnett County Board decided that they are no longer going to attempt to vote on reclaiming that property. Now, I want to play this package. This story was done earlier this week, yesterday, I believe, that walks you through the history a little better than I can. And then this is how we got to the point where they can celebrate not having to give up their property.
It's our freedom, it's our legacy, it's our future.
Generations of history sitting in this room and on this land that the Livesey family has owned for over a century, land that Gwinnett County wants.
This is my mother-in-law and father-in-law.
Robert Livesey Sr. and his wife Moena bought the former plantation called the Promised Land in 1920. They were descendants of slaves who were once forced to work here.
They had 18 children.
Today, much of the property and the original home is owned by Gwinnett County, with plans to turn it into a museum.
They always just come and claim black land.
Now the county wants the Livesey's 2 remaining parcels of land to develop into a public park. It includes a lake, a store, and apartments where descendants like Alexis Livesey lives with her 6 kids.
Even if they offer the money, this is more than money. This is our home.
The county could soon take the rest of the land by eminent domain, legally forcing the owners to sell.
It's beautiful property. The Liveseys have maintained it. Now as a county, we want to help it grow.
The county says it wants to preserve the land's history.
Imagine now coming to this property where descendants of former slaves are now descendants of all this rich history.
The family worries the focus of the project will be the plantation owner, Thomas McGuire. He wrote a series of journals of antebellum life, reportedly inspiring Gone with the Wind.
They're going to come down here and celebrate the history while whitewashing what we have created here.
To be clear, the county says nothing has been decided yet. There will be a board meeting on April 25th where Gwinnett County board members will vote on the eminent domain proposal. If that vote is successful, the final decision will happen right here in court. Outside the Gwinnett County Courthouse, Amanda Rose, Atlanta News First.
And you heard her talking about that final vote. Like I said before that story ran, there will be no final vote because of that reporting and because the Gwinnett County Board decided that it is not within their rights to erase a family history line in the way that they likely were going to by kicking this family off that property. So the Livesey family will get to live on right there in what is a very unique piece of history, your ancestors being slaves on the property you now claim your own. Last story I want to talk about as we enter this April month. A lot of your kids, students, whoever they may be on spring break, either this week or last week or next week, depending on what school system you're in. But April is the month of travel. A whole lot of traveling going on, as you would expect. And Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport was voted again the world's busiest airport for the year of 2022. 2023 will likely be even busier as we continue to move away from those pandemic times. Take a look at this list, actually, while I'm talking about it. So Atlanta is number 1 at 93 million flights in and out, passengers in and out over the course of the year. And then you saw behind it with cities like Dallas and Chicago and Denver, which also made the top 5. Atlanta's always been one of the busiest airports in the world. We have consistently been the last several years the busiest in the world. This weekend is going to be even worse because of all the spring break travel. You've probably heard about it online or you've seen it on TV or through our reporting. About 4.4 million passengers expected to pass through Hartsfield as we move through this weekend, either going to places like Panama or Miami or Cancun or wherever it is to get to a beach. It all travels through Hartsfield. You know Delta goes anywhere and everywhere, and this is one of those big-time travel seasons. So if you're heading to the airport, some word of advice from the airport, get there early, be ready to go through domestic travel, and be ready to get all that stuff squared away. And I'm going to go ahead and change that out for you for a second. While we're talking about the airport, you might as well see the airport, right? So like I was saying, get there early. And if you're going through domestic, they want you to be there 2 to 3 hours early. International, a little bit longer. Be prepared to wait in long TSA lines. If you got things like Clear or Pre-Check or both, be sure to use that as well. Take that to your advantage. You never know what line's going to be shorter. There's also been some delays coming in and out of some of the international airports in the U.S., so account for that as well. Make sure you're checking your boarding status, your plane, see if there's any changes, because there's also going to be some nasty weather coming in tomorrow specifically. It's going to be in the 40s and it's going to be rainy. So if you are heading out of Hartsfield, you need to be ready for whatever that rain might bring. Before I disappear, I want to make sure I'm reading all these Facebook posts. Carlston, hello. Thank you so much. Melissa, hello. Nice to see you here in the Facebook chats. Max, Michael, and Karen, all you guys, thank you so much for chiming in, watching in, Facebook, YouTube, we're all over the place. I'm going to go ahead at this point. I'm going to turn things over to meteorologist Cutter Martin, who's going to be able to talk a little bit about that weather I was just mentioning that you might experience at Hartsfield-Jackson, because it is going to be a weird and messy holiday weekend. So, Cutter, you can go ahead and take it away from here, man. I'm sure they are going to be ready to roll to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, definitely tracking much cooler air filtering its way in. And along with the cooler weather, we are tracking much kind of rainier conditions across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Looking at temperatures right now, notice 65 at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, but you go over to Athens, Clark County, it's in the lower 50s. Meanwhile, Locust Grove, LaGrange, hello to you. Temperature is still in the mid to upper 70s, so it is a mild evening down to the south and to the southeast. You get up into north and northeast Georgia, though, it is definitely on the milder side, but much cooler still than it was earlier. Because remember, Blairsville, Gainesville still managed 70s today. But now you are back in the 50s, and Atlanta in the 60s. We tweeted about this. If you follow me on Twitter, at Cutter Martin, CUTTERMARTIN. We were tracking the cooler air moving in. We actually picked it up on radar as the wind shifted directions. Temperatures at DeKalb Peachtree Airport dropped about 10 degrees in a single hour. And as that moved through the city of Atlanta, picked up bugs and particles, some of that dust, any loose debris out there, bags, grocery bags, things like that, literally. And radar was able to pick that up. So again, cooler air, it is filtering in, and will continue to filter in overnight tonight into tomorrow. So let's walk through that forecast hour by hour, and we'll start with what's happening now, though. Again, here is that front to the south and west of the city of Atlanta now, and we'll just write it on the map. The front pushing from northeast to south and west. Cooler air is filtering in from the northeast as well. That's why it's coolest in Athens, Greshamville, Eatonton, Putnam County, even cooling off. And it's still mild, Carrollton down to LaGrange, but cooler air is on the way. Let's take you to a tighter look at the city of Atlanta. East Point last hour 76, right now 69, 67 in Dunwoody, 63 downtown Atlanta. Down to 60 on the far southeast side, getting into Rockdale County, Conyers, Newton County, Covington is in the upper 50s, so it is chilly across metro Atlanta with that breeze factored in, and it will be getting cooler than colder overnight tonight. Hey, look at that. Truist Park is packed. Lights are on. Game is underway. Time now is 8:12. First pitch was about 7:20, and so far rain-free. First Alert Weather app. Hey, if you don't have it, just search First Alert Weather or Atlanta News First in your App or Google Play Store. Scan that QR code upper right-hand corner of your screen, or if you are already watching on a mobile device, you can just visit atlantanewsfirst.com. And also, on Roku, Amazon Fire, we have some of those screens rotating where you can also download the app. Atlanta News First, our news app, and the First Alert Weather app as well. Temperatures continuing to cool again back into the 60s now, and will continue to fall upper 50s by 10, 11 o'clock this evening. Spotty rain becomes more widespread. So spotty, meaning very hit or miss, then scattered, then numerous showers in the forecast. Could even be some rumbles of thunder late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Here we are. Out the door time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures back in the 40s to near 50. Rain is widespread. You see that 100% chance of rain. And what this particular graphic doesn't show you is that it'll be absolutely kind of breezy as well. It's going to be a brisk day. Here is that hour by hour. Again, forecast model, just one of many computer models we use, but it's doing a good idea depicting where the rain is falling now. And it gives me confidence in the forecast that rain will be increasing late this evening, overnight tonight. Here we are, 2 a.m., first alert in effect, meaning if you have any late night plans, or if you work the third shift, maybe into the weekend, you're going to be driving to work or working as rain becomes more widespread. So damp streets already by 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. There is the potential, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, there may be some dry time further to the south, Griffin, LaGrange, Roanoke, Alabama, Heard County, on down to Eatonton, over towards Lakes Sinclair and Oconee with the heaviest of the rain, the steadiest of the wet weather. To your north, northeast, and northwest. So kind of sitting there in a bubble according to this forecast model through about 9 a.m. And then as we go to mid to late morning, rain will expand to the south and east, metro Atlanta, Griffin, Covington, Athens. Rain is picking up, and we're still dealing with widespread rain through the afternoon. If you have dinner plans on your Saturday, any evening, afternoon activities, no matter how early nor how late they are, it's going to be hard to get those in. Even 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, still tracking steady rain, but mainly by that point, after sunset, south and east of 75 and 85, and I think the rain is fully out of the picture by 10, 11 o'clock. We'll drop that first alert. Cooler, drier conditions filter in by Sunday morning, so Easter morning still chilly. 30s mountains, low to mid 40s elsewhere, but hey, not only drier, we are also clearing back out. Let's talk about your extended forecast. If you have any Easter plans and they're outdoors, which many are, going to church, family brunch, outdoor Easter egg hunts, we do have good news. The grass will still be soggy. Going to be hard to cut the grass, make it all spick and span and pretty for all the Easter guests coming over. I know that's a topic or a thing that many families do. Get the yard all nice for all the Easter egg hunting and the family visits and your neighbors' families and friends coming in. It's a time to impress, right, with the lawn, but hard to get that grass cutting in tomorrow. Hopefully you did it today or yesterday. Because tomorrow we're stuck in the 40s to near 50, widespread rain. But Easter Sunday, a nice day. Grass will be wet for the Easter egg hunt, but we're waking up to 40s. We end up with more sunshine in the 60s, so it's going to be a much more pleasant day across North Georgia and metro Atlanta, and really much of the south and east as that front begins to push off to the south and east and we clear out across the area. All right, let's see, diving into the feeds. And we're going to click on our live stream right now. Again, if you're watching, thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Let's see, Melissa Macklin, hello to you. Melissa, hello. Good evening to you, Max. Thanks for watching. And if you're streaming on YouTube Live, again, thank you for tuning in. We have several folks on right now. Again, thank you for watching Atlanta News First on YouTube Live. Also, Facebook Live as well. We are also streaming Roku, Amazon Fire at AtlantaNewsFirst.com and the Atlanta News First app and the First Alert Weather app. So big story, First Alert, rain and chill tomorrow. It'll not feel like Easter. Rain is in the forecast, and let's talk about if you have those outdoor Easter plans in the First Alert Weather app. If you have it, that's awesome. If you don't, just search First Alert Weather or Atlanta News First in your app or Google Play Store. As far as how the app will be most useful tomorrow, home screen, go there, click on the upper right-hand corner, that little, looks like 3 sheets of paper, 3 horizontal lines. That is the menu. Once you click on that, click on Settings. Make sure you have Atlanta News First Alerts turned on if you want videos from the First Alert Weather team, those updates that we sprinkle in even outside of newscast time. They can be really hyper-focused, local focused. You can get those from the team, be notified to those if you have those alerts turned on. What's really necessary, though, this weekend is to make sure you have your rain and your lightning or precipitation and lightning alerts turned on, and you can be alerted to rain or any rumbles of thunder, any flashes of lightning approaching your neighborhood or wherever your plans take you on your Saturday before Easter. Another part of the forecast tomorrow, it's not just the chill, not just the rain, but the combination of that breeze and the chilly temperatures. Mid and upper 40s, we're basically stuck there through the daytime hours Saturday. You factor in the breeze, though, and it will feel like the low to mid 40s. So where it is cooler up in the mountains, low to mid 40s, factoring in that breeze, it will feel like it's in the 30s just about all Saturday long. Not at all feeling like early to mid-Easter Saturday tomorrow across North Georgia. Again, here's that hour by hour once again. Blue Ridge, Clayton, Ellijay, Calhoun, Rome, Dallas. Gainesville, Lawrenceville, waking up to 40s and rain. City of Atlanta on south. We may wake up to maybe spotty showers, damp conditions, but the steadiest rain, I think, what will hold off until as we get into mid to late morning, really after 10 a.m., the noon hour, early mid-afternoon. That's when rain is going to be most widespread as an average. Keep in mind, we're going to wake up to plenty of rain in the area Saturday morning, and there will be plenty of rain in the area through at least early evening. But as far as the time in which the most neighborhoods are getting rained on, where plants are most impacted by the weather, I'm thinking late morning through mid-afternoon. You can see it right there, 3 p.m. Some of this rain could be heavy, maybe some rumbles of thunder, flashes of lightning, with temperatures stuck in the 40s. If you live in Calhoun, Blue Ridge, rain may start to wrap up early to mid-afternoon, but it's going to linger in Atlanta. It'll certainly linger in Athens, Eatonton, Lakes Sinclair and Oconee. A lot of folks head out there for the Easter holiday weekend if you have lake plans on your Saturday. Rain is lingering through dinner time, and it's going to be chilly. It'll be breezy to windy. Gusts 20 to 30, a good possibility. But then we're drying out. Tomorrow evening, we'll keep the clouds initially, cooler air filters in, and then we are back to drier and cooler weather in the First Alert forecast. So at least this is not an all weekend long sort of issue. But it's going to be something that we're going to be watching here pretty closely. Some new questions coming in on Facebook Atlanta News First. Liza M. Engel, thanks for watching. How much rain in Rockmart, Georgia, as an average? I would say 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half. Though the further north and west you live, maybe a half inch to an inch added up all together. Isolated spots seeing 2, maybe 2.5 inches of rain. So I would plan on more than an inch in many spots, Liza. and that will fall over the period of 6 to 12 hours. So we're not looking at huge flooding concerns, but obviously the typical low-lying spots. It's still early enough in the year; things are just now starting to green out. Water runs off a little more readily this time of year, and temperatures will be chilly, so not as much evaporation. Just a steady, at times heavy rain. So it could be a little bit of ponding there, where water tends and is supposed to collect in a solid rain, but not looking at any big flooding concerns there, nor across the rest of North Georgia. Max is saying, so Saturday is a complete washout. Yeah, we'd rule it that. You're going to wake up to rain in most of the area. There may be a little bit of dry time sandwiched in there, on the top end of the day, out the door in the morning. If you're an early riser, 6, 7, 8 a.m., Atlanta Point South could be maybe more hit or miss rain versus widespread and steady, but that will quickly change by mid-morning, 9, 10, 11 a.m. Rain does become more steady, does become more widespread. And I do think that the wetter weather will linger as we go through the afternoon on into early evening. Temperatures stuck in the 40s. That breeze, though, making it feel even colder. So not just the rain jacket, not just the umbrella, but make sure you have all the layers on tomorrow. And then you saw that 7-day forecast. It gets much nicer Sunday. And then next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not only do we warm up, but we remain dry. Again, you can get that full forecast at AtlantaNewsFirst.com and in the First Alert weather app. Meteorologist Patrick Pete is in the house. So I'll have your full forecast coming up at Atlanta News First at 9 p.m. on Peachtree TV. I'll have your 10 o'clock hour. Then we're back on WANF Atlanta News First with the 11 o'clock newscast. Have yourself a wonderful evening. We'll leave you with an hour-by-hour look at temperatures. Liza, will it be super windy? Windy enough, as you can see on the graphic there, to make mid to upper 40s feel like low to mid 40s. I would say gusts 20 to 30, so breezy to windy, but we are not looking at severe wind conditions. We'll keep you updated here from the First Alert Weather Center. Also, ANF Plus, Atlanta News First Plus, will keep you updated not only today, but through the weekend. Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi will take away the forecast getting into your Saturday morning. Have a wonderful evening. Stay dry this weekend.